So I'm just going to introduce myself again. So I'm Milena, and I'm a student of Applied Health Science at Furtwangen University in Germany. And I took the course The Circle of Health last semester and had the great opportunity to do a summer internship with Patsy and getting to know the circle a bit better. And so today I just want to give my perspective of how I think the circle can be used and what I took home from taking the course. So, yeah, for me, like the key takeaways from this course and how I can apply the circle, where that the circle is like a practical guide helping to apply what we learn in a real way, and it can be for a map for students to deal with real health problems, especially when you go from university to a job and you have all these theoretical input, but you don't know how to really apply this. So I think the circle can help you with that. And then sometimes we find ourselves in new situations, like in a new job or project. And I think the circle is like a strong base, giving a clear way to approach and to talk and understand health challenges and making a person feel more confident. And for teamwork and collaboration, the circle isn't just for solving health problems or addressing these, it's great for teamwork too. And when we work with different people, it gives us a common way to talk and work together effectively by helping addressing the topics step by step. Then it's good for assessing tasks in a team. So in a group project, deciding who does what is really important. So giving out roles to people, and for that the circle can help by showing what one is good at and what is something you don't have much knowledge about. So it makes sure tasks go to the right person based on their strengths and professional and private backgrounds and what the project needs. It also helps building a strong team foundation. So it's like the circle can be the foundation of a team, and it brings everyone together and makes sure all understand the plan. And it helps agreeing on how to approach things, so everyone's ideas and visions contribute to the best results. It also can be a project management tool. So throughout the project, the circle is like a toolkit, and it keeps everything organized and helps a person to confidently guide the project from planning to finish. So it is also a reminder to look at these specific questions and asking the right questions. So in simple terms, it's the circle is like a helpful, versatile tool for solving health concerns and working in teams. And it's like a guide that makes sure we think about all the important stuff. So when we're dealing with something new, we can remember the circle as a friend for addressing real-world problems. So, and furthermore, for me, the circle is more like a roadmap for looking at health in a really comprehensive way. So it encourages us to dig into not just physical, but also mental, social, and cultural aspects of health or our life. And so we're talking about the whole picture. And now when we dive into the factors that shape our health, the circle prompts us to think about all these interconnected things like social factors, economic factors, the environment. And it's like understanding all factors that influence our well-being in every aspect of our lives. So, and it really emphasizes being culturally aware. So it's about getting that context and questioning our assumptions and really tailoring health approaches to different communities. And when we talk about social inequality, the circle pushes us to look at the bigger picture. And I think it challenges us to examine how social structures impact health and pushes for teaming up and working together on solutions based on shared values. And it's also got these Ottawa Charter principles guiding us, so practical strategies for promoting health. And it's not just about throwing ideas out there, it's about being systematic. So this makes our health initiatives more effective, and it's more like following a well thought out plan. It also considers Indigenous health aspects, and this way we can honor diverse perspectives and elevate our approach to health in a culturally inclusive manner. So all in all, I think the circle is this versatile toolkit, and its adaptability and makes it a go-to for tackling various health challenges in different situations or projects. And it's just like having a solid foundation to build on when you're figuring out the big puzzle. Yeah, that's just the things I took home from taking the course. So now I'm giving over to Anne.
Okay, I'll also quickly share my screen. Perfect. Okay, so I'm also a graduated student from the University of Furtwangen. I also took the course of Applied Sciences. And I guess as students, we are always looking for structures when we are learning stuff. So first I took the Circle of Health course also a couple of years back. And then I did an internship on PEI during, I think, when COVID hit. So for me personally, it was a really hard time. But I also learned a lot during that time, because first I didn't really get how I could apply the circle in my daily life and also in my student life. But when I went home and I had to write my thesis, I needed a tool which combines, so I had a topic which combines health literacy and menstrual health. And first, when I chose the topic, I didn't know how little literature there is which combines both topics. So I needed a tool to evaluate so I had a cohort of students from the Dominican Republic and Germany, and I needed a tool who combines both cultural aspects and also the health aspects. And yeah, with my thesis, I wanted to determine the cultural differences, but also how health literacy impacts the menstrual attitudes and beliefs from people. And therefore, first I thought how I can approach closing the gap where I couldn't find literature for combining those two topics. And then I thought about maybe I can apply the different layers of the circle to get an overview, how I can structure my work, but also how to close that gap. So I needed the tool who represents the cultural and the health aspects. And for that, I also needed to comply with the norms and the values, because often tools are only applied, for example, in the European region, but not in the Latin American region. And yeah, after all, I chose the circle to use for my thesis, and to getting an overall structure for my work, I used the template. So I identified certain aspects which are important for both health literacy, but also how menstrual attitudes and beliefs are shaped, how the norms are impacting, on the one hand, health literacy, and on the other hand, our health experiences, and how culture plays a role in that. And when I had the structure from the template, I used the different layers of the circle. So for example, with the outer layer, the purple layer, I looked at the values, which different values the Dominican people have and the German people have. So there are a lot of differences, for example, how Dominican people view menstruation. So they are not allowed to go outside of school without, like, they are not allowed to speak to boys when they are menstruating, or it's more like a topic you don't talk to. But for example, in Germany, like, you openly discuss it. And I also needed a tool to quantify the data, so I did a questionnaire, and for that I also like had to combine the values, so I could apply it to both regions. And I think for that, the layer for the values was really important. It also helped me to find tools or questionnaires which combines both. And then I went through the different layers. I think I can skip them quickly. So yeah. And then in the end, I also looked at the different aspects of health, because, for example, we as Germans have different values when it comes to health, rather than looking at the Dominican population, because, for example, they don't have the access to as many health institutions as we have in Germany, especially when it comes to health promotion. Or, for example, they deal with different health aspects like dengue fever or teen pregnancy, and we in Germany have different problems. So I also had to look at that part. And then looking at the health literacy aspects and the health determinants in general, I applied them to a model which shows how our different determinants, personal determinants, influences our menstrual experiences. And I used actually the colors of the layers from the circle to mark them in which aspects they apply. And then I could combine health literacy and menstrual health. And for that, I could, like, the circle was a really good tool to get to combine and to get a structure of two parts which I couldn't combine in the first place, because I didn't know how to combine them. But then I could see, okay, for example, the sociocultural context is represented in most of the layers of the circle and has influence on different other determinants. So for me, the Circle of Health was a tool I could apply holistically, and I could include different aspects of health literacy and menstrual health, and I could close the gap for linking health literacy and its impact on menstrual health and attitudes among a cohort which has different cultural backgrounds as well as different access to health institutions. And that was it from my side.